All right, Cabinet of Curiosities, Episode 2, Graveyard Rats. We talked a good amount about our feelings towards the series in the first episode, Lot 36. So if you want to hear our thoughts on that stuff, definitely go check that out. As far as this episode goes, I quite liked it. And, just throwing this out there. This has been done before, and something we watched very recently, which was Trilogy of Terror Part 2, the segment called Graveyard Rats, of course, just like this. And it is pretty similar, except for that one is modern day, and this one's set in the distant past, which I'm assuming the story, because it was written a long while ago, was set in that era.
Sure.
So this would be probably the more accurate version of it, and this is definitely the more preferable version for me.
Yeah, me
I thought
too.
this definitely did it better.
Yes.
There's things I did like about the Graveyard Rats in Trilogy of Terror 2, but this one is pretty much superior in almost every way. But this one is about and we are going to get into spoilers, but I'll warn you when we get there. This is about a graveyard keeper who grave robs on the side, and he needs money, just like in the last episode.
Yeah.
He needs money quick, otherwise some bad stuff's going to happen to him. And he finds out about a big score. A recently deceased rich man is being buried with his riches, and he's going to go after him. But there's a problem. They've got an infestation in
rats.
this graveyard of rats. And not only is this guy, not too fond of the rats, but he's also extremely claustrophobic. But that is going to be put to the ultimate test when he has to go where he doesn't want to. So that's that. But overall, quite enjoyed this. I thought the acting in the beginning was a little off, little hokey. Felt like a stage play.
Yeah.
But I do want to make this note really quick because I think it's cool. Kaylee will point out that the main actor is from Stargate Atlantis, which she is correct. But an even cooler side note to that is the director of this is the director of Cube, which is a fantastic film, and the lead in this played Worth in Cube. So a reunion of Cube and Worth. So what is this episode worth to you?
It's worth a lot. I really liked this episode. I liked the
Had an Edgar Allan Poe feel.
Yeah, very atmospheric, very gothic feeling. I was really into the period piece-ness of it, too. I think everything felt, just like I said in the other review, really gritty, and all the colors were very earthy and dark, and I just liked the way everything looked visually. And the acting seemed a bit hokey in the beginning, for sure, but it grew on me, and I think it was honestly it's just the dialogue. It's just the kind of old-timey-ish English.
Use guys.
Well, yeah, and then it's in Salem, so there's like also, I don't know, there's a bunch of there's a couple accents happening. There's like, anyway, but it was good. That was not a problem as the episode continued. And I like that there's a lot of, it's a metaphor for greed, and both episodes are about greed and being in debt. And I especially like that this story deals with kind of the, there's a line in the beginning about how we've become a civilization because we now bury our dead. And I just think that that's really interesting, because not that, I don't know how many people grave rob today necessarily, but every time, I like going to cemeteries and graveyards because I feel like, they're really beautiful and peaceful, but it also kind of makes me sad to think about, people not visiting. Like, nobody goes there anymore, and we don't really have, I feel like our culture doesn't really respect death the way we used to. Like, especially in America, we're very, sterilized and look the other direction of it. Like, we don't really want it to be a part of our everyday life, even though it is a part of our life and an intrinsic one that we can't escape. So anyway, that aside, I just like the feeling of like, if you disrespect the dead, there will be consequences.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. The opening of this episode, it felt like a lower budgeted Edgar Allan Poe adaptation of like The Telltale Heart or something. Mm-hmm. Something I see like, Robert Eggers made a version of Telltale Heart that was like really, low budget and quick, short. It had that kind of feeling, like a student film as far as like the acting went. Not bad. I don't want to make it seem like that. It felt the acting and everything about the episode in the beginning made it feel cheaper. Mm-hmm. And then once he gets into the graveyard for the big thing from there on, mm-hmm. everything felt bigger and grander and more like what this show is capable of, judging on the last episode and now this one as well. But
the set design is really, really cool later on.
Sure. Mm-hmm. It also reminded me a bit of Graveyard Shift by Stephen King, the movie. Anyways, so let's get into spoilers. So spoilers from here on. Go check it out if you haven't. All right, so we get these two grave robbers in the beginning who are robbed by another graveyard robber who makes himself seem like he is some good Samaritan, that he's just going to let them go. And they're like, yous ain't going to turn us in, kind sir. And they skedaddle right on out of there. And he then, of course, takes advantage of this, pulls a tooth, and gets some stuff, some pewter.
Yep.
And takes it to his associate, who tells him, this ain't worth nothing.
Nothing. Right?
So you got to get some stuff for us, otherwise we're going to bury your ass for real. And so he goes and he meets up, and Kaylee got to see some dead dick, which she was happy about. We don't see enough peanuts on screen.
Yeah, I'll take what I can get.
I got to see bloated, disgusting tits.
Yep.
That were like falling off the side of the body. I thought the body was going to fall apart when he started looking at his mouth. That shit was disgusting.
Yeah, that was really gross, looking at the corpses and stuff. But that's great, like the practical effects on everything. I was really into that whole scene. The sequence was nasty.
We get to see some George Washington dentures.
Yeah. Wooden dentures.
Wooden dentures. And then, he sneaks in on this body that the coroner's like, nope, can't go in there. But he does. And this guy is like a rapper. He has nothing but gold teeth, except for the front two.
Yeah, he's some wealthy, like, shipping merchant or something is what they say.
Yeah, he's got a real expensive grill.
Yes, he does. He does.
I thought I was going to say, like, something across his teeth.
Sailor.
Or something. Yeah. Some old-timey, like, used.
Ye sailor.
Yeah.
Ye old sailor. That's a lot.
That's a lot. That's a lot of teeth.
He's got big teeth.
Get just huge. Like the Mask. So, anyway, he finds out that he's going to get buried with all his shit. Mm-hmm. And so he decides to go, and once he gets in the grave and he opens it up. Now, there's no surprises here for us because we just watched an adaptation of this where when they open it up, the guy's being dragged into the tunnels by the rats. The guy goes in, and then it's actually a chick who goes in. But whatever, she goes in, she fights some rats. And then she climbs her way out, and when she finally sees that her salvation, her exit's there, she gets to the end and crawls into a casket that is a different casket than the one that she crawled in. Yeah. So, which kind of reminds me of the episode of Creeped Out we watched tonight. Just making the wrong tunnels. But anyway, so he goes down in there, and this is where we get the big showdown. I mean, he's really... Now, there is a scene in this I had to laugh because the first time he's attacked by the rats, he puts a gun like right to this rat's face basically and pulls the trigger and somehow misses.
Yeah, he does miss, and that's...
But then in the dark, 10 minutes later, I mean, a day later for him, he shoots at it like in the dark tunnels from probably 5 to 10 feet away and nails it.
Yeah.
I thought that was really silly.
He just works better
he was
under
like,
pressure.
BAM!
Yeah. Sharpshooter from far away.
I guess so. Mm-hmm. He's got, he's nearsighted.
Right. Yes. Nearsighted.
So, but yeah, so, how would it be living next to a prostitute? I think we have one upstairs. I don't know what they're doing up there, but it seems like this chick in this episode. They're just banging on the walls all night long.
I don't think
Except for no one's having fun.
Yeah.
People are being murdered upstairs.
Yeah, that's what we've decided. I don't think it's prostitution. I don't know. I don't know how it would be living next to a prostitute. I guess just like this, I'd be hearing stuff.
One that doesn't really care about what people are hearing.
Right.
And they have thin walls.
Yes.
This chick is getting hammered nightly. And this guy is like completely oblivious to it at this point. He's so used to it. And he's dressed like Ebenezer Scrooge in Muppet's Christmas Carol.
Mm-hmm, which I like his little nightcap. I really want one, and I think it's cute, and also it fits because of the whole theme about greed.
Sure.
Although he doesn't get a chance at redemption.
No.
So. No.
He didn't get visited by 3 ghosts. He got visited by 300 rats.
Yes, 300 rats and something else.
And an enormous rat. Oh, and then, also down there, which is wild. I don't know if that's in the original story.
Well, that's the part that I was mentioning in the last review that I have questions about. I don't understand what that is. I mean, I get that it's like, so he crawls down, he meets the giant rat, and then he crawls some more, and he falls like super, super far down. So far. And he's in this cavern that's like this old, like, structure, like a building, some kind of...
Calls it a black
steeple.
church.
Yeah, a church. And there's a bunch of skeletons, like bones everywhere, and then there's also jewels that he starts to pick up and, pocket because he's greedy. And there's a skeleton corpse that's, like, sat with its hands folded, totally frozen and dead, and he has a very jeweled, big necklace on. And then there's also a statue of this, like, creepy monster that looks like the demon from the first one.
Sure.
It has, like, a bunch of tentacles coming outside of its mouth, or outside of its, like, giant head mouth.
Yeah.
And anyway, when he takes the necklace off of this skeleton, it comes to life and starts coming after him, and it was actually really scary because it just kept saying "mine" in this horrible voice.
Yeah.
And then he runs from it and, like, crawls up another dark passageway, and he's being chased by this thing. And so that's what I don't understand. I don't understand what that is, because it seemed like that guy was super greedy and was, like, praying, or I don't know. I don't know what that is, though. And, like, he just happens upon that.
Yeah. I mean, I think that this altar, people are drawn to it. And I think the rat is actually working for the statue. I think that he is being compelled, this rat creature, whether or not it was created by it or whatever. I do think that it is bringing this deity riches and jewels as an offering, because it didn't take the body with little to nothing, right? It has pewter, it has 1 gold tooth, it doesn't really have much. He goes in with the rich guy and he's pulled out.
Yeah.
And then when he lands down in there, there's jewels and riches on, like, every skeleton down there. He's grabbing this, he's grabbing that, right? And then there's one around the neck of this guy. Now, who that guy is, this is like the last episode. This is one of those things that is left. I guess you're right. I wasn't even thinking about that. What is this? I was thinking more about the rats. It's like all that stuff's very much answered, but you're right. The black church and this skeleton guy and the deity definitely is not answered. So I don't even know what the hell I was thinking by saying everything's answered. It isn't. I'm on drugs on that one. But I mean, I haven't really put any thought into it, but yeah, I mean, was that guy who's down there, was he a corpse in the graveyard and pulled down there by the rat? I doubt it.
No,
this seems like a worshiper
yes.
of this deity, and he stayed there. Why? I don't know. I mean, he's still alive. Maybe he just couldn't get out.
Maybe.
And
but then why wouldn't the rats have eaten him or something? But I like that what you were saying about like the rat mom is like in league with whatever, because it does seem like that's where they're dragging the bodies of the wealthy people down to. So I like that. But yeah, whether this guy is, I mean, he's worshiping, he's praying. Why? I don't know.
Yeah, and
I don't know what he got out of it. He wants to be
there.
there.
He's wearing this necklace that is connected with this being, but it's just it's just its likeness. This isn't.
Yeah, that's the thing.
This isn't an actual monster creature down there. It's just yeah.
I don't know.
I don't think so, unless it's encased in that.
Well, it does sort of look like the eyes are either jewel, like they're foggy and weird, like they could be like pearls, or they could be some other gemstone, or it's like maybe it
he's
is,
staying
like,
there
the
to keep that thing at bay.
I don't know.
He has to. Maybe he's keeping watch, and he doesn't want him to take the necklace because the necklace is what's holding him back, and he just kind of sits there in slumber, protecting us from that thing. Now, if that was true when he took it from him and he was like yelling mine and he ripped it away from him and started crawling away, if that thing would have started crumbling,
sure,
then that would have made sense, but it never did. So I'm just throwing something random out there that I don't have any evidence to support.
No, I don't know what that is, but I found it really creepy, especially the mine part when he was saying that, and then just being followed by something like that in these dark like underground cavern tunnels, and then also the rats. Like it was a very, it's scary to think about for sure. It would be a terrible situation to be in, and I like that he thinks that he has gotten away with it because he causes a collapse so that crushes the giant rat and caves in the area where the guy was trying to follow him through. Then he sees a light at the end of the tunnel, and he's so excited and climbing up there, and he finally thinks that he's gonna have his big break, and when he gets to the top, it is just the reflection of a silver plate in the inside of the coffin.
I don't understand.
I don't know why it's on the inside. I guess because it was like the casket's open, so they looked at it during the funeral and then.
Sure, but I don't really understand that because he's looking straight up a tunnel that he has to climb up, and so he's looking this way, and the casket's this way. They didn't bury it vertically, right? They buried it horizontal. So he's looking up. The reflection would be coming from inside the casket. Mm-hmm. This is the most well-lit tunnels ever in film, by the way.
Yes.
There's areas where it's like he has just this little flashlight and the whole thing is illuminated. Doesn't really matter. But if you're looking vertically and there's a horizontal chamber, and inside the chamber there's a reflective surface that's pointing straight up and down vertically within the horizontal slant, and you're coming up to it and then into it, there's no way you're seeing the silver reflection.
Yeah, I don't know how it's reflecting.
So I don't understand how unless it's like this. Maybe
I think it is because he's climbing up.
It's got to be. I don't think it's straight up, but it looked like it was. Well, yeah, I guess it's like this. But he fell a mile down. He fell
much farther than it seemed like he climbed.
100%, 100%. So that's just you have to suspend disbelief there. The angles of light, right? Like when you get in the pyramids and they have to move those lights around in order to get the lights. The line of sight isn't correct from what I'm seeing in my very vague assessment of this line of sight. But whatever, don't care. I just thought I'd point it out. I love the skeleton that comes to life, though. I think it's a great design. I think the effects in both of these episodes has been excellent. Big fan of both. Morality tales through and through.
Yeah.
And then we get the irony twist in the end.
Yes.
That the graveyard robbers that he scared off in the beginning dig him up, and he looks all fine and well as he's in there with his jewels. They go to reach down for him, and much like in the end of Creepshow, the rats start crawling out of his body.
Yeah, I really loved the ending. I thought that was really effective, and it looked really, really good. So I was very happy with that.
Yeah, rats. That would be terrible.
Yep.
Yeah.
Oh, rats.
Dreadful. Dreadful delivery, too.
Yep.
On that joke.
It's okay.
Yeah. I feel like a rat now.
Aww.
Any more to say about this episode?
Just excited for tomorrow. Excited to see.
It actually drops here in 14 minutes, so we'll see. So does Andor, though. But we can watch in the morning. We can watch stuff. Yeah. So we might watch some Cabinet of Curiosities tonight, is my hope. We'll see. But other than that, in case we don't, we'll see you tomorrow or later tonight. Maybe I can talk her into it. Anyway, subscribe, do all that stuff. Patreon, watch parties. It's awesome to hang out with us. We're the best.
We are.
Come do it.
Yeah, you won't regret it.
All right, guys.
Bye.